All right, guys, welcome back for day 16 of the 66-day challenge on how to have a productive business in real estate. Today's going to be a good one. We got a lot of systems, so let's quickly recap these systems. Of course, now I got to pull up my paper. So we have the plan. We identified our clients. We're doing file up, charge up, personal time. Get our passive income in order. Time blocking. Accountability, meeting with the team, going over your 411s. Culture, Q&A, make your systems better. Always Q&A, successes and failures. Look at your platforms. What's the shiny object that your team is providing? How are you making your agents on the team's lives easier? Networking, get out there, meet new people. Show your value proposition. Okay? Review your plan. Hiring. Branding, thinking outside the box, feedback. So this way you can advertise that so people can see how well you're doing. People love success stories. And that brings us up to day 16. And day 16 is called a 30-60-90. So what that means is that what do you want to achieve in 90 days? And I love this system because I don't know if Keller Williams actually came up with it or they got it from somewhere else and changed it to make it a little bit better for them. But the system that they have right now, these 30, 60, 90s can be for anything. It can be for hiring, platforms, tracking, sales. It can be for evaluating your staff. It can be for anything. And even on a personal level, it can be for weight loss, eating right, increasing your family time, passive income, retirement, stuff like that. So it can be used for everything. And 30, 60, 90, it stands for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So at the end of those 90 days, today is June 24th. So 90 days from now. So let's just take July, August, September. At the end of September, what do I want to achieve? That's the easiest part because here's the deal. You've already done your yearly goals. You already know what you want to achieve every single month. You did a 411. So even if you basically took the easy way out and said, okay, what's on my 411? We're going to do a 30, 60, 90 on that. That is not the primary reason for it. A 30, 60, 90 is actually to put these goals under a microscope, under a spotlight, and really focus on that. Okay? So let's say our goal for this one is that we're bringing on a new agent. We have a new agent. They're already acclimated into the system. We have their name. We have their license number. They're joining the board. We don't have to worry about that. So you can create a 30, 60, 90 for onboarding, but this is for production. And just like any other position, whether you're a CEO all the way down to the person who mops the floor, you are supposed to get evaluated. Now, commonly, in the last probably 10, 12 years. I haven't been in the workforce too often. But I remember when I was a kid and had a W-2 job, we got 90-day reviews. And if they didn't like us after 90 days, they cut us loose. Doesn't matter what position you were, retail, whatever. If they didn't like the way you performed, there was a 90-day clause where they got rid of you. Now, going forward, it's common that you only get yearly reviews, but you should. You actually should be getting 30-day reviews to see where you're at. But there's no time, and people don't have time for it. The successful people do, though, because they delegate it, they do it themselves, and they want to perfect their craft. They want to perfect their culture. So let's take the new hire, okay? First of all, we want to keep it simple. Okay, we don't want to overcomplicate things. We want productive items only on here versus to-do list stuff. So let me give you an example. So if we are strictly looking at GCI, GCI stands for gross commission income. We're not looking for net. We're not looking for anything else. We're looking for gross commission income. And we're focused on, hey, I want to grow this. We're at, right now we're at $60,000, but for the last 3 months, we want to bump that up to $75,000 or $90,000. So you have to have a game plan. You don't need, in a 30-day period, you don't need any more than 5 items. So even if you wrote down, these are the 20 items we need to do to get in production, that first 30, you're taking the top 5. And if you ask yourself, if I complete these 5, all 20 of these will be satisfied. That's what you want to focus on. Okay, so that's the difference between a productive items compared to to-do list items. All right. This is not to be used for platforms or anything like that. Like don't use to-do items. That's going to be for the 135. That's basically called a GPS. We'll go over that next time. And again, this should fall into the 411. So let's get into the example. Like I said before, we have the agent. I'm meeting him, and let's say his name is Jim. So Jim is going to be sitting down with me at first, and he's also going to be meeting with his accountability person. Now, that accountability person can be anybody. I recommend it be your director of operations, unless they are being trained as under somebody. Like if you have a buyer specialist, then you can use them. But either way, that buyer specialist needs to report back to your director of operations because they handle everything. They need to be aware of what's going on. Okay. So the first 30 days, this is an example of someone just coming on. Okay. They have everything they need. They have a headset. They have platforms. There's no excuses for this. So about 5 or 4 core things they should be talking to 75 contacts weekly. Okay. Now, we don't need to break this down, but for right now, I'm going to break this down. This could be in your 135. This is going to be your part of your to-do list. So that contacts is going to be database, expireds, for sale by owners, door knocking, open houses, networking events, blah, blah, blah. So you can break all that down. But all we want is 75 transactions. We're not focused on just open houses. We're not focused just on walking the geographic farm. You want to stay to the core items, okay? So 75 contacts made weekly. How can we track that? We don't want to be looking over their shoulder. No, we don't need to. And that's why when you have your platforms, you're going to have platforms like Sisu. Sisu is probably one of the best ones out there. It tracks everything. It tracks your dials. It tracks your conversations. It tracks your appointments. It tracks your listings captured, whatever, text, emails. It's all in there. Database. You can even create categories. So we have a category called 72 sold. We get leads from them. And we also do marketing for that. And when we get a lead from that, we also track that. We track our numbers. All right. So the first core item for the 30-day goal is 75 contacts. After that, it's script practice 5 days a week with a team member or partner. Now, I don't recommend the director of sales doing this. This is where I recommend either you as a team lead or your buyer specialist, okay? This is in here because they have to do this item every single day. Now, this can also be broken down. It can be broken down to, okay, what are we going to script practice with? Are we going to do open houses, for sale by owners, expired, blah, blah, blah? That's a to-do list. We just want to stick to the core items. So the next one is that they need to at least set 4 appointments per that month, 2 appointments gone on and 1 taken. So not only are they setting the 4 appointments, but they have to go on 2 and then take a listing. And when you're tracking this, or whoever is, holding them accountable, whether they fail or whether they succeed, what are you doing? You're Q&A-ing it. You're going over. You're saying to yourself, "Hey, I succeeded. I went on my first listing appointment. It was great. All right, great. Let's Q&A it. Tell me about your client. She's my mom. All right, you got keep going. And this is why you want to find out where you succeeded. So, okay, great. You're great with your database. I mean, but you got to, where did the other one come from? Well, I was in an open house and somebody came in. They liked what I did. How I was professionally dressed, the information I had about the property, the brochures, and they were interested in selling their property. And I got in a conversation. And you're going to break that down even more. Well, what did you say? So when you Q&A that's actually going to help your ratios. So if you're normally, for every 5 conversations, you're getting 1 appointment, I guarantee you if you Q&A every single conversation with your accountability partner, that 5-to-1 is going to turn to 3-to-1. And it's going to change real fast because you're going to know what to say. You're going to find out what works for you, and you're going to keep it going. So the last thing for that 30-day goal is to complete and submit database of at least 200 people. Okay, so this is beginning. This is the beginning of the 30 days. We want your Rolodex. It's not like we're going to steal your clients or anything like that. No, we're trying to make your life easier. Okay, we're not going to personally contact your database unless you tell us to. So right now we have an ISA, we have an admin, we have a director of operations. But my database wants to hear from me. But if it's something that really doesn't need to be heard from me, like let's say I'm having a shredding event, they really don't need to hear from me on that. I can have somebody call. I can have my ISA call. I can have a transaction coordinator call. I can have buyer's agent call. I can have anybody call. And basically, that information is going to be relayed to my database. But you need at least a 200 people database. Now, let's say, hey, Mike, I just moved out here and I don't have anybody. Okay, we got 30 days to get 200 people. That's your goal. These are the 4 main things that you have to do. And then after that 30 days, we're going to evaluate you. Now, if you come in at 199 or 150 on the contacts, are we giving you the axe? No, we're Q&Aing it. Where you're going to get the axe or you're going to get the golden ticket to continue is going to be after the 90 days. Like if we don't see you doing the activities, if we don't see you attending training, then that tells me that maybe you're not engaged. And if I remember, there was this quadrant about being engaged and being about disengaged. So you can be directly engaged. That means I'm new, I don't know anything, I want to succeed, I know your systems, and I'm going through it. That's a direct engagement. We need that. That is the person that you want to hire. And then you got the people that are indirectly engaged. I'm engaged when I want to be. I'm engaged when it's important to me. I just got an $8,000 check. I'll see you in 2 weeks, then I'll be more engaged. All right, whatever. Or they're getting lucky. They're not really, luck is good, especially in sales. But then you have your disengaged. So then you have your disengaged that is indirect. That means like, hey, I'm not coming into the office until 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I'll work when I want. But I'll produce. I got it. But these are also the people, I got to make expire calls. I hate expire calls. No, there is none of that. That's an indirect disengagement. And that is something that you want to correct. You want to get out. And the absolute 4th quadrant where that person is leaving right away, if they are directly in disengagement, that means they are coming in with a negative attitude 100%. So one rule we used to have at the Mike Fitzpatrick team, which we still do, but we don't have an office. So when we had a physical office, when you walk through that door frame, that archway, you are 100% in real estate. If you weren't, we told you to turn around, go home, go take care of what's more important, whether it's, something with you with the spouse, the kids, you're not feeling good, you got hit with a $5,000 bill from the IRS because you didn't pay your taxes, get the hell out. And that's how direct we were. Because if you are going to affect, either directly or indirectly, everybody in that office, everybody that day. So if you came in with a piss poor attitude, we didn't want you. You were not productive to us. So you had to be mentally going through that archway. I don't care what you're going through, but coming through, it's great. We're here. Just picture that black and white movie, and then you're walking out of that black and white movie, going through the archway, and then now it's all color. That's what I wanted. That's the culture that we wanted to have. Now, with that 30-day, you can have activities off to the side. Okay, so your core activities, again, 75 contacts made weekly. You're going to do script practice 5 days a week with an accountability partner. You're going to set 4 appointments for that month. 2 of those appointments you're going to go on, one's taken, and then complete this and submit database of 200 people. Now, you can have another category off to the side. I don't want to say it's a to-do list, but let's say I want to name it training activities. Memorize and present buyer consultation, do 2 mock buyer offers to leadership, shadow 2 buyer appointments, shadow 3 showings, complete a 411 on weekly meetings. But Mike, that seems important. Why shouldn't that be over here? No, because these are activities, these are training that's going to, help you, guide you to your core activities. Your core activities is what's going to get you to your goal. Okay. If my goal is to lose 50 pounds, but I also want to gain muscle, I'm concentrating on the physical activities, not the mental. Not to, hey, I got to read this book before. Hey, I got to do my affirmations. No, that's training. That's totally something separate. So after that 30-day goal, you want to sit down with your employee, 1099, whatever, and you want to please compliment. When somebody succeeds something, celebrate it. I know a lot of people like to immediately go after, hey, this happened. What did you do? Why didn't you tell me this? Focus on the successes too. Reward people. I'm not saying you got to give them a $500 bonus. Give them a pat on the back. Tell them what they did right, All right, so now we're going into the 60. Now, on that 30-day, you just evaluated that 30 days. Now, you're just going over, reaffirming what the next 60 days is. So at day 1 of day 30, they have the 30, they have the 60, they have the 90. They know what to expect. It's not going to be, a surprise to them. So you're going to go over. Now we only have 3 core activities. Guess what we're still going to do? We're still going to do that 75 contacts made weekly. 75 is a good amount, okay? Even if you do it just 5 days a week, that's roughly about maybe 15 or something per week. 15 new people or 15 people out of your database, that is not hard. Not hard at all. Script practice, that doesn't change. We're going to do it 5 days a week. Master your craft. But we're going to add another appointment. We're going to say you have to set 5 appointments. 2 appointments mandatory that you have to go on, 1 taken, and now we're going to add in 1 under contract. The reason why we added 1 under contract, because what happened the first month? Well, we got a listing taken. Well, we want to get that under contract. We're not in the business of taking listings and putting them on the wall. Like I've seen some of these agents, Mike, I have 13 listings. Great, how many are under contract? Are you in the business of taking listings? No, I'm in the business of selling listings. As soon as I get it, if that thing is not under contract in a week or 2, I'm reevaluating it. I'm asking for a price drop. Somebody dropped the ball on something. I missed something. There's no reason that your listing should not be under contract in less than 2 weeks unless you messed up. You gave in. You caved in. Now, I'm guilty of that. If I go out to a property and I say, hey, you know what? Your house is only worth $400,000. Well, Mike, I want $475,000. Can't. You're either going to do one of 2 things. You're going to be saying, you know what? I wish you the best of luck. I can't do it for you, and walk out. There's been plenty of times where I walked out of appointments because I know I couldn't get them in that figure, and they're going to fail. But then there's going to be people in there that's going to cave. Oh, I got no business. I'll take it. And now you're stuck with that property for about 90 days before it goes under contract. That's a waste of time. But then I can also say to myself, well, wait a minute, this property's in a nice area. I'm going to get a ton of buyer leads from it. But I'm going to be upfront with my seller. I'm like, look, I'm the skilled professional here. You don't do this every day. You're a dentist. You have another occupation, whatever. I get it, though. You want $475,000. But the market is telling me you're not going to get anything over $410,000. I will take your listing. I will take it. I'm going to charge you a full commission. I'm going to have a listing contract for 6 months. You got to give me that much time to get that high. I have no comparables, and you have no comparables to back that up except for what you've done with the property. But the reason I'm taking it is because I'm going to get a ton of business from it. So as long as you're up front with them, that's fine. All right. So we got a little bit off topic here. So 60-day goals. We bumped it up. Now, what we're hoping for in this 60-day goal period. So why did you increase 5 appointments but not increase the 2 appointments going on in reference to the first 30? We were at 4 set appointments and we went on 2. Why didn't we increase that to 3 in 60 days? It's naturally going to happen. We don't want to set that bar up too high. This is your first year in real estate. But I'm telling you, when you realize that if you're going on 5 appointments or you're setting 5 appointments and you're actually going on 4, you're going to want to change that yourself. And that's what we're looking for as leadership. We're looking for you to say, I don't need you to increase the bar. I'm going to increase the bar myself. That's what we're looking for. But we also want to make sure that you're not increasing the bar too high where you're not even going to come close of reaching it. Okay? Again, reevaluate after 60 days. Next part, 90-day goals. 90-day goals, guess what we are going to increase now? You've had 60 days of this. You've accomplished it. The first month you were doing 77 contacts a week. Now you're doing 80 contacts a week. Well, now we're going to put that bar up there. We see that you're increasing your amount of calls because you're seeing the production. So after that 60 days, you've already set up 9 appointments and you've gone on at least 4. If you're not hungry after that, I can't help you anymore. So we're going to bump that up to 100 contacts. We're still going to keep the script practice because we want to keep that training going. We want to keep you. We want to throw some, different. We want to go from an easy objection handler to a hard objection handler. So when you're doing your script practice from the first 30 days, it should be kind of easy, challenging a little bit. Bump it up a little bit after the 60 days, but the 90 days, hit them hard. But with the script practice, and this is a rule of thumb, I want you to keep in mind. You have to always give them light at the end of the table. You have to let them succeed. You can say, okay, you didn't do this, and if you did this, you would have got it. And that's the whole point of Q&A and afterwards. So after the script practice, we're going to bump it up to 6 appointments set. Again, 2 going on, 1 taken, 1 under contract. Well, Mike, you're setting me up for failure. Well, you got me 4 appointments and 5 appointments and 6 appointments, but there's 2, 2, 2. Again, we're looking at you to increase the bar yourself. We're looking to see what your numbers are like. So that can be changed. And then we want to basically add in there 4 buyer reps to your pipeline, So these are things that and at the end of the day, if my 90-day goal was to get you in production, to get you at least 3 listings in 90 days, and 2 under contract, and a database of 400 people, that's it right there. That's it. And don't forget about the training section like we did in the first 30 days. Your 60 days could be 1 office training, role play, buyer consultation, still shadowing, doing your 411. Your 411 should be done every week, but it should be reviewed with your accountability partner at least once a month. And then after that 90 days, you can start getting into the listings. But that is basically what a 30, 60, 90 is. You have the end goal. You're going to start off easy. You're going to turn it up a little bit, and then you're going to feel the burn. And then after that, you're either going to create another 30, 60, 90, or you're going to continue the way you're going to get you to your business plan. But if your 30, 60, 90 should be a reflection of something on your 411 or your business plan. Okay, that's enough for today. I know today was long, but this is very important. It has to be very detailed, and you have to do it the right way. Okay? Any questions about real estate, coaching, mortgage, title, anything, give me a call at 267-549-2505. Would love to have your feedback, and continue with those likes. And I love the comments. Talk to you later.